One evening, Percy was picking up passengers from the station. "It's been half an hour," said Percy. "How much longer till Thomas arrives?" "Maybe Thomas has encountered a cow on the track," soothed Emily. "But don't worry, Thomas will be here soon." Emily was right. Thomas arrived a few minutes later. "What is going on here?" asked Thomas. "You're late, Thomas," said Percy. "Emily told me you saw a cow on the line." "I'm sorry, Percy," said Thomas. "I didn't see a cow on the track. I was held up at the station because the driver told me there was a fallen tree on the line." Then Percy had an idea. "I know what we can do," said Percy. "I'll take your coaches, and you can take the mail train." Thomas was surprised. "You want me to take the mail and you taking Annie and Clarabelle?" asked Thomas. "Yes, of course, Thomas," said Percy. "Please tell Sir Topham Hatt that we're switching jobs for the night." "You're on, Percy," said Thomas. "I'll tell Sir Topham Hatt right away." As a matter of fact, Thomas did tell Sir Topham Hatt, and he said yes. When Thomas and Percy got home to Tidmouth Sheds, they told Gordon and James all about the plan. "I heard you and Percy decided to switch jobs," boasted James. "We sure did, James," said Thomas. "I'm taking the mail cars, and Percy is taking passengers with Annie and Clarabelle." "It's getting dark outside, Thomas," said Gordon. "Are you sure you're going to work in the night time?" "Of course," said Thomas. "Percy, our jobs are arranged. Let's go!" And so Thomas and Percy raced away. As the sun started to set, Percy arrived at the station to take Annie and Clarabelle. "Piece of cake," said Percy happily. "I'm really excited to run Thomas's branch line." At that moment, Harold the helicopter arrived. "It'll be soon getting dark and misty, Percy," said Harold. "You better be careful." "No need to worry, Harold," whistled Percy. "Unlike you stuck-up whirlybirds, I can always see in the dark." "If you say so, Percy," said Harold, and he buzzed away. And soon, Percy puffed proudly away. Later that evening, Thomas arrived at the quarry. "Evening, Thomas," said Mavis. "I saw you puffing home to Tidmouth Sheds excitedly an hour ago." "That's because I talked to Sir Topham Hatt," agreed Thomas. "I asked him if I can deliver the mail tonight, and he said yes." "That's better," said Mavis. "Months ago, I told you not to take the slate cars if Sir Topham Hatt said no, but this year, you asked Sir Topham Hatt to take the mail train, and he said yes. I'm proud of you, Thomas." "Thanks for telling me, Mavis," said Thomas. "Must be off. Goodbye." Later, Percy met Emily at the junction. "Thanks for Thomas, who talked to Sir Topham Hatt," said Percy. "I'm taking Annie and Clarabelle today." "Interesting, Percy," said Emily. "Gordon and James told me about it, and they were pleased about your jobs." "Oh, that's nothing," said Percy. "Thank you for telling me, Emily. I must be off." And Percy steamed proudly away. Later, Thomas had stopped at the post office. The post office manager was pleased to see him. "Evening, Thomas," said the post office manager. "Where are you going today?" "I'm here to pick up more parcels," said Thomas, "to make it through the night. And I'm sure Percy is doing a great job with Annie and Clarabelle." "Well," said the post office manager, "this post office is closing soon. I bet this is your last delivery for today, until the post office reopens in the morning." So all the packages were loaded in Thomas's mail cars, and he puffed proudly away. Soon, Percy approached the junction, and he didn't know which way to go. One line went to Wellsworth, and the other line went to the unknown area. Suddenly, Percy missed the signal and went on to the wrong line. "Percy," said his driver, "you're going the wrong way." "No, driver," Percy said encouragingly. "This is the way to get to Wellsworth." But it wasn't. Soon, Percy approached the old mine. The buildings were old and deserted. "Oh dear," said Percy. "Where am I?" Then there was trouble. And a few seconds later, Percy stopped by an old warehouse. "That's done it," said his driver. "We'll have to call for help." Thomas had also arrived at an unknown area, and he was looking for Percy. Soon, Thomas could see Annie and Clarabelle in the distance. "Percy, I'm here," whistled Thomas as he stopped. Percy was surprised. "You're not going to laugh at me?" asked Percy. "Of course not," said Thomas. "Wellsworth Station is closed until tomorrow, so I will help you go back to the station. As long as we hurry, Sir Topham Hatt will be pleased to see us." And so, Thomas led Percy all the way back to the station. At last, Thomas and Percy arrived back at the station. But the two engines were exhausted. "Phew," said Percy. "Thank you for helping me, Thomas," said Percy. "It's very hard work." "You're right, Percy," said Thomas. "Your work is hard. If Wellsworth Station wasn't closed, I would have been hours behind." "Though I'm not too pleased with the delays you've caused," said Sir Topham Hatt. "And I understand that you had to help Percy get to the station on time." "Yes, sir," said Thomas. "We're sorry we got lost." "Don't worry, Thomas," said Sir Topham Hatt. There's no reason to apologize, even though you went the wrong direction, that's all. And now you deserve a rest. Thank you, sir, said Thomas and Percy together. Even in hard times, they would still be really useful engines.